city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lew got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lew, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody, Lew, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtic screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody, Lew, right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. Braxton, episode 31. We have an official title, but this really should be known as the Hugh Freeze game, as you are broadcasting live from Fort Stewart, Georgia, in your bed.
Yeah, I could call an offense from here as well. Talking to you is nothing.
Well, I'm happy, we made it through surgery. Have already started physical therapy, gaining ground on Patrick Mahomes. So it's good to see you.
Great to see you, Daniel.
So, Braxton, we got an action-packed episode with a lot of topics. I think we should start with the 68th running of the Daytona 500 that happened earlier today.
Yeah, so the Daytona race was today, but it would be remiss if we didn't talk about the lead-up to the 500. So this week, I started, since I had surgery on Tuesday, I've been bedridden Tuesday afternoon till, well, you see where I'm at right now. So I was afforded the opportunity to really dive all the way into the happenings of Daytona this week. I got to watch practice and qualifying on Wednesday, into the duels on Thursday night, truck race Friday, ARCA race, and the O'Reilly race yesterday, and the 500 today. So I have been the deepest into NASCAR than I have in a long time, and it all climaxed today. They moved the race to the left, which I didn't know if NASCAR was going to do due to the weather that was coming in. They moved it to the left, and that was great. And we got to see a classic Daytona race with an exciting finish. The finish isn't what I was hoping for. I'm not a fan of 2311 racing with Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin at the helm of that. They obviously ruffled some feathers with NASCAR over the summer, but Tyler Reddick gets the win. If you watch that final lap, a lot happened that I could dissect, but I know that I was almost able to jump because once first crash happened, they didn't call caution, and Chase Elliott was able to get into the front. I was hooping and hollering, and then Zane Smith kind of screws him. He gets out, loses his push, and Tyler frickin' Reddick is able to come away. Didn't do anything the whole race, and able to secure the win in the Chumba Casino 45 car. And he had his teammate Bubba Wallace in the 10 spot. So Chase finished fourth. Not much to note. Any of the other Hendricks guys, they all kind of. Alex Bowman finished terribly. Kyle Larson and William Byron down the roll. So it wasn't a great day for Hendricks, but it was a great day for Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan always needs reason to have something good go his way. And it's funny because right at the start of the final stage, they had interviewed him. He's like, I got 4 horses in this race. I just need one of them to do something. And, well, you got 2 top 10s and a winner. So good for Mike. Mike needed that.
23-11. Yeah. I was looking it up after the race. I don't. It's only happened, I want to say, like 3 or 4 other times where the ultimate winner, Tyler Reddick, he didn't lead a single lap except for the final lap.
The final.
That's racing.
Like the final turn and a half of the lap too. They should have called caution after the first wreck, and then they were just meters away from the finish line when they had the second crash out, and everyone but top 2 cars really finished going backwards from the wreck. But yeah, it was something. I had a buddy from the Citadel text me immediately talking about his disdain with NASCAR, and how he makes the claim that NASCAR has gotten worse than the NFL in their virtue signaling and their bowing down to certain teams and entities, and he thinks that 2311 essentially has NASCAR by the short and curlies, and he's tired of it.
Tired of it. What's he gonna do?
Text me. Then he also he went on a Joey Logano rant because he just felt like it was necessary, even though Joey Logano didn't really have anything to do with anything in the race today. But he also wanted me to make sure everyone else knows that he still does not like Joey Logano. Mm-hmm. So good emotions. I'll tell you this. That final, I've been a casual NASCAR fan since me and Kaylee have gotten back together, thanks to Gavin. But I told Kaylee that the last stage, like those last 10 laps after the restart, like I was getting the same heart-pounding feeling that I get from Kentucky football games. Like I had more emotion in that final lap than I've had a Kentucky basketball game all season. So it was good to feel something again. And unfortunate ending for my racer, but for NASCAR as a whole, is another classic Daytona finish.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. Daytona. I wouldn't even call myself a casual fan. I'm like levels below casual fan. But I do like in that final lap, kind of like, like the refs let them play a little bit. And I appreciated they didn't do the caution. They just let them keep on racing going into the last lap. Or turn, really.
Right. I think, some people would disagree with it. They shouldn't have let him play. They think they let him play just given who was out in front of the race. And they think NASCAR's out to get Hendrick Motorsports as a whole. And after the legal stuff with 2311, they're trying to be best friends with that team. So.
You've talked about the legal stuff. You alluded to it last episode. Can you just explain that for me? Because I'm not really familiar with what happened over the summer with 2311 and NASCAR.
Not a lawyer.
Even that's better. Plain language.
My understanding, though, was it was 2311 bringing up. It had to do with the how to get charters, how difficult it was to gain a chartership into NASCAR and to sponsor vehicles and become team owners. And that kind of came to a head with the formation of 2311 with Michael Jordan and how difficult that was. And obviously you got Denny Hamlin, who's a driver owner. So their dispute was essentially NASCAR had became it's a legal jargon. They became a controlled enterprise where there's no room for growth, whatever that legal jargon is. Where
monopoly?
It pretty much monopolized it to where if you're in, but no one else is getting in. And if you leave, there's no recourse for replacing the entity that leaves.
Okay.
It had to do with the charters and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really know all the details, but I do know 2311 ended up getting the settlement. So they, you can argue they won. But I don't like 2311, so I don't like the decision.
And another question I have as a super casual fan, and they talked about this a good amount during the race, but they've gone back to the chase format. If you could explain what that means, and if that's something that as a more serious fan of NASCAR you're looking forward to
for the playoffs So
Yeah.
so now the last seasons, it's been if you win, you're in to the playoffs. But now they're just doing so you still get stage points. So stage points don't carry over. So you get points for stage victories. You get points for your placement in the races. However, now it's not. Hey, if you win the Daytona 500, you've automatically secured a playoff spot. The point system will just continuously rolling until the playoffs. Then the playoffs will have their I don't want to say the wrong number 10 races. Their final amount of races. Which will determine the overall champion. And then once those 10 races start, based on the point system, when the cutoff is, those are the ones who are in the playoffs, but there's no carryover from your stage points and wins prior to.
So it's a brand new season once you get to the playoffs.
As long as you had the points to then enter the playoffs.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what format do you like better?
I think this will be better because it allows for more of a full season of competitiveness.
Mhm.
Because if you have someone who wins Atlanta next week and then they don't, they're finishing 20 and below the rest of the year, do they deserve to be in the playoffs because they won one race?
So in prior, so last season, if you didn't win a race, but say you came in second or top 5, but never won, were you not in because you didn't win a race?
I'm
Or
pretty
there
sure
wild card spots.
it depended on how many allocated slots they had versus who won the races. Because you had a lot of people who won multiple races.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like the chase format, you're going to get your best whatever final field of racers for the playoffs over the course of the season, which seems like a better product and more fair.
It'll also make the stages more exciting for those points. But you'll also see people, leave off stages in favor of pitting, depending on the stage for preparation for the final stage, which is ultimately the victor of the race. So it's fine. I mean, NASCAR, it's a hard sport to do playoffs in general, just because of the nature of it. Because you all have to compete, but you're not all competing, if that makes sense. So
right.
And then you have the
That's
team aspect that you have teammates helping. It's hard to do, but I would call myself a casual. As a casual, no glaring faults in trying it out this way.
Yeah. Well, they've done it before because they said they were going back to the chase format. So they did it, then they went away from it. It sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know what year.
Yeah. No, it's I think you talked about it last episode too. Watch Daytona 500, that's just the granddaddy of them all. And then I do enjoy what's the Memorial Day race, the Coca-Cola 600. Just that whole weekend of racing with the Indy 500. Monaco's moving this year, the F1 race. I do know that Monaco is not being raced Memorial Day weekend.
It was Monaco, then you had the Indy 500,
Yep.
and then you had they raced in Charlotte or Virginia.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't watch a lot of races.
Well, it's hard. I mean, I think whenever I was in career course, I got into it, but then Kaylee was like, you can't fully commit yourself to a full Friday night race and then 2 races on Saturday, then a race on Sunday. There goes your whole weekend, especially with kids. But
yeah,
I've already declared to her that I'm all in on this NASCAR season, and given the fact that I'm not much of a positive in the house right now anyways, I think I've been pre-approved to be all in on NASCAR. Yeah.
I'm impressed you watched the duels, that you watched a lot of NASCAR this week.
I turned off the Kentucky basketball game to watch the O'Reilly race.
Wow, you're all in on NASCAR. Have you been watching any of the Olympics?
No,
don't care.
I couldn't care less, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so you're not familiar with the stories then that are coming out of Milano Cortina with the Norwegian biathlete who, after winning a bronze medal, disclosed to the world and asked for forgiveness from his girlfriend of 6 months that he cheated on 3 months into the relationship. You didn't hear that story?
Sure didn't.
He was bawling his eyes out on international TV. What do you think about that? Trying to win back his girlfriend of 6 months.
He meddled, got interviewed, apologized to his girlfriend who he'd been with for 6 months that he cheated on her 3 months into the relationship.
Correct. So it
A
sounds
weird
like,
play.
3 months ago from when he won, and then he's saying how it's been the hardest week of his life, like, living with this. It's, I don't know, man. Like,
Are they broken up? Did she know that he was cheating, or like is that how she found out?
no, it's unclear if they are like if they were together at the time of the Olympics. But it sounds like she had that was him disclosing to anyone for the first time, and he did so to an audience of millions across the world.
No, I think you just got to take that either to the grave or to a private conversation. You don't blast that
No.
on NBC.
No, yeah, he's a dodo. That's Woody's stamped opinion on.
He makes
His name is I won't even try to pronounce this.
it look like Lindsey Vonn makes good decisions.
Sturla Home Legred. I can't even say that. I have no idea. That's like an Ethelstan AE combo thing. He's from Norway. But he went on to win another medal after he won that bronze medal. So he was having a pretty successful Olympics. PR. He needs Norway biathlon team needs new PR rep.
Yeah, I don't know why they let that kid talk. He needs to take that to the house. Needs to take that to the house.
And then, in addition to that interview, that's been getting a lot of attention in the sport of curling, which is usually a gentleman's game, a very heated curling scandal. Cheating allegations being lobbed by the Swedish team against the Canadian men's team. And then in another match, the Canadian women were also accused of cheating.
I saw on Twitter an altercation between the Canadians and the Swedes.
Yep.
Where they were in a shouting match, and it looked like the Canadian guy let go of the thing and then touched the thing again.
So I can post this in the chat, but I watched a pretty in-depth YouTube video explaining the rules of curling and the alleged infraction, and it was almost like a Zapruder film of a breakdown, like frame by frame, of the alleged contact. So apparently there's like a line, and in curling, once the person like that's sliding the stone, the curl, I think it's called, you can't. Well, first off, you can never touch the like granite part of the stone. That's no good. And then you cannot touch the like handle portion once so you can release and then touch it, I guess, but once it passes a certain line, you cannot touch anything. So the allegation is that when he released it, he like kind of rubbed his hand down and then flicked the stone again, like a very minor flick, which raises my question, like, why does it even matter? Like, what is that little like doing?
Is that illegal?
You cannot touch. It's illegal. And if
should.
you get caught doing it, it's called a burnt stone, I learned, and it's taken out, so you don't get any points.
And I'm glad he got called out.
Well, that's the thing, that he got called out, but there's no video replay in curling, and there's like apparently like not many officials, so that was a huge thing that this incident brought to light, was the need for like more officials, and they don't review things. It's almost like tennis, like you have to like ask for a review.
It sounds like a golf scramble for your office party. Like
right.
It's a gentleman thing. Like you know the rules, you play by the rules, but there's really no recourse for challenging if it happened or not.
Yeah. I mean, so by the rules, it looks like he did break the rules. So the stone should have been burnt. They ended up winning. They won that match against the Swedes, and the altercation was just so funny. Just such like, I mean, there's no contact whatsoever in this sport, and these two guys just yelling at each other. A lot of obscenities from the Canadian.
Well, that's typical for Canadians, because they get this reputation of being so nice and gentle and forgiving, and then you put a little pressure on them, and the
Gentle.
true colors come to light. And they're a little short-tempered and maybe fragile when their kindness is brought into question.
So we do have some chatter in the chat about this. Miss Amy Lewis, love curling. I know nothing about it, but enjoy watching it. She appreciates the info. Once again, I'll find the video, Miss Amy, and he does a pretty good job of explaining curling and the rules violation. And the Mad Hatter, I don't know what this means. Seems like same rules in checkers. Is that like you can't, like in chess, like once you move the knight, you can't take it back?
Once you take your hand off the piece, you can't reapply.
Well, apparently you can. It just can't if it crosses the line, but you can never ever touch the granite part of the stone. That's what I learned.
I have the Winter Olympics on right now, and I've flipped through some hockey. I gotta be honest, Dan, I couldn't care less about the Winter Olympics. I don't know why I don't like it. Maybe it's because of the disdain I have for cold weather and the snow. But overall, it doesn't move the needle for me. I don't really care for it.
I'm happy you brought that up. So this is actually a new segment that we talked about. What's on your multi-view? So what was on your multi-view? I guess this weekend or today?
Okay, well, today, me and Kaylee discussed this. So I got the TV I have here in the bedroom. We're at a distance here. It's probably I don't know, maybe a 40-incher, 42-incher. And it's up here on the wall across from the bed, so it's small. So for the 500, I had the race on because my eyes are getting bad in my old age, and I wouldn't be able to see the placement if it was on multi-view. But I did check out the multi-view, and if I did have multi-view on, my combination would have been the NASCAR race with Pebble Beach, USA Germany hockey, and then those were really the only three for today. But I did have on the multi-view yesterday for a little bit the O'Reilly race with basketball, college basketball, and Pebble Beach.
So I'm happy you said that, because those three, that was exactly my multi-view today, was the Daytona 500, Pebble Beach, and USA Germany hockey. It's a good multi-view. I had a great day.
No, it is a good multi-view. That's the one thing YouTube. I mean, we pay $1 million for YouTube every year, so we should get multi-view. Now, something they need to clean up when you're talking about multi-view. So, as an ESPN Unlimited subscriber, college baseball is almost exclusively on ESPN Plus. Their multi-view options on ESPN Plus are lacking, or ultimately just not found for things that matter. I've noticed. They need to have that for college baseball on the ESPN Plus app.
I haven't tried the multi-view in the ESPN app, but it's just not yet. It's not. I mean, YouTube is just the best.
Well, YouTube got better when they let you edit.
Yeah, you choose your own multi-view,
which always seemed like a no-brainer. But yeah, when it tells you what you have to multi-view, that really just adds angst into the equation, and you should be able to pick your own destiny when it comes to your viewing pleasure.
So, again, we were talking Olympics, and you had some commentary on Canadians. I think that's a pretty good segue into the controversial topic that we teased and approved of last episode, and the namesake of tonight, episode 31, talking Heated Rivalry, HBO Max sports drama. Braxton, did you watch episode 1?
I did.
Well, okay, we're already further than I thought we would be. I thought there was a very good chance I put it at like 75 that you were going to be like, nah. I started it and I didn't finish it. I gave you homework.
We have a dedicated listener who listens to us on Spotify, Annie from Boston. And she even comments on our Spotify episodes, so she is noticed, and we appreciate her. She wanted it to be a topic, and we are craving you interaction, and
That's right.
thankfully we're at a place where our following's not so large that we miss input from the fans, so we get all the input, and she asked for it, and we did it. I watched it. I think I watched it yesterday or the day before. I started it without
class
Kaylee.
before we start talking heated rivalry.
I started it with Kaylee out of the room, then she came in. She started watching it with me. I guess we'll start. Very well produced.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the concept. So basically, you have Shane Hollander and
can't wait for you to pronounce this.
Ilya Rozanoff. So you have the Canadian Shane Hollander and the Russian Rozakov. And, it's cool because it shows them kind of playing in World Juniors together, and then they get drafted out of juniors. It looks like no college, just got drafted as 17, 18-year-olds. They go number 1 and number 2 in the draft. Russia beats Canada in the juniors. Rozanoff goes first to Boston, and Shane, the Canadian, goes to the Montreal Metros, who is his mom's favorite team, as he is from Canada, and it's a hometown team. Now, what I thought was weird, Dan, is it showed some of the hockey. The time span of the first episode, it kept skipping a lot of months. And I haven't watched episode 2 yet. And this is me saying I will watch episode 2.
Good. I was going to be like, are we continuing? So you're intrigued.
I'm intrigued. I didn't understand why they were skipping so far ahead in the episode. It was going months at a time. But yeah, the premise was good. The production was good. Them being lovers thing.
Sure. I don't know if it was lovers or more just like in lust,
Well, lust was a big part of it. What I would say is, both these actors have been praised for their ability to tell a story without using their voices, and that was one of the main reasons both these actors were given this role. Even though Rozanoff actually learned Russian for the role, he's not Russian.
When I learned that, I was pretty impressed. He's an American actor.
Yeah, he learned Russian, did 6 weeks of intensive training. They're in love, and that's part of the story.
Are they? Are they in love?
I think I do. So, hold on. It's an interesting dynamic. I've only watched one episode. So, is it love? Is it lust? Or is it a control thing? Because you see throughout, kind of in the beginning, Rozanoff was always beating Shane. Mm-hmm. And then as the rookie year goes on, Shane's awarded Rookie of the Year. And he has more lights shining on him. He's kind of blossomed as the top rookie in the league. He does great at the skills competition, beating Rozanoff at that. And then kind of simultaneously in the background, Rozanoff's having trouble at home.
Yes.
His brother back in Russia is bleeding him of cash. He's giving almost all of his signing bonus to his brother. His dad, it appears like his dad's in poor health. Because he's having a hard time getting his dad. He had a very harsh father, very stereotypical Rocky IV type Russian father, and
comrade.
He's having a hard time getting a hold of his dad. And when he got a hold of him, his dad just his brain wasn't all there. He's asking his brother's asking for money. He's asking his brother if dad's okay. He won't get a straight answer. He's having a good rookie year, but not as good as Shane. Mm-hmm. And then on the background of all that, you have the hooking up. Mm-hmm. So it does beg the question: do they have feelings for each other? Is it being scared of being caught? Is it almost like a prison type sexual dominance situation here, where it's a control thing, something they can control outside the ice? A lot of angles you could look at, and
That's
I
true.
didn't think
That's
I would be
true.
breaking this episode down as far as I just
Yeah.
did.
I'm
But
not sure if it's like a control thing. It seems almost like, I mean, obviously they both have, you know, homosexual tastes and almost like a mutually assured destruction, so to speak, that, they can act out on those with, I mean, obviously they're, number 1 and 2 picks in the NHL draft, like just specimens, not bad
right,
looking guys, but
no,
by like if they, especially for Shane Hollander, for him, like, being outed potentially by, like, if he, like, someone he meets in, like, Montreal, that person probably has nothing to lose. So by
right.
hooking up with each other, they both have something to lose if one is to out the other.
Well, and Shane also, he just got the Rolex deal. He's
Mhm.
got the Reebok sponsorship, and
Yep.
you know, Canada's a pretty accepting place. But you don't know how the league as a whole will react.
Right.
Um, we've seen cases of LGBTQ plus individuals getting ousted in the sports community. So I know he's probably fearful of that, losing sponsorships and maybe not being looked at as the guy that you want your son to have posters up in his room. So he has that to lose. Now, one thing, who was the girl who surprised Rosenoff at his house?
I think we'll find out. Obviously it's a another interest that
Yes.
he's had relations with, I think is the assumption that's safe to be made.
Yep.
I'm also curious of that scene. So I didn't going into this. I had no knowledge other than this was just like hockey. I kind of like the any given Sunday type of teams. Like you have like the major hockey league with the Montreal Metros and the Boston Renegades. So I'm
Yeah,
obviously
I do like
a
that.
Rosa Kaus fan. Boston Renegades, obviously for the Boston Bruins. But I'm curious. That was a very nice house. Like where does he live on a rookie salary? Number 1 pick, so probably does pretty well. But rookie salary burning through his signing bonus. Like where is that?
I know, and
Boston
he
ain't
sent all
cheap.
his money to his brother. And what's his brother doing with the money? Because every time the brother calls back asking for more money, they're still in that small apartment. And then when he said it, he'll give him $20,000 more.
Gotta be a
His
gambling
brother didn't.
problem. Like if he's burning through
His
that much cash and living in like that,
Yeah, and his brother didn't seem like satisfied with the 20,000, which I thought, like, I don't know how much more he needs. Um, I want to know what's going on. I feel bad. Like, I don't want his dad to die on him because I think his dad's what got him to the point he's at. And I'm fearful if he was to lose his dad, he clearly doesn't have an older brother who
hmm
is responsible enough to take on that mature um, man role in his life. And then we might see him spiral more with Shane and then this other female interest who's entered the equation. And then obviously his team. He's a major league hockey player for the Boston Renegades, and they have expectations. One of the
hmm Number 1
um,
draft pick.
six original hockey clubs in the Major Hockey League, and so there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It,
What did
but
you think of like the obvious, parallels to Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin?
at the All-Star game in the bar and stuff.
Well, just like these 2 characters, like Hollander's obviously Sidney Crosby, the young Canadian phenom, um, who is, like
Roger.
upbringing, like was kind of, you know, groomed, so to speak, for hockey and like very controlled, very calculated, very like manicured. And then Ovechkin, a little more like rough and tumble, at
I
least for
think
the
it's just
appearance.
I think it's just lazy writing, and it
Okay.
was a book first.
It was a book. It's a book series.
I didn't think about that when I watched it, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, it was a book series. This is book number 2 that they made a series on.
Mhm.
Um,
Now, did you fast
yeah,
forward through any scenes?
yeah. I mean, I fast forwarded 20 minutes through. Well, and here's the thing. Me and Kaylee were talking about it. I'm not a fan of sex scenes in TV shows and movies that don't move the storyline. And I
Mhm.
think you can curate obvious sexual encounters in movies to where the viewer knows it's happened or is happening
Mhm.
without explicitly showing it. Those scenes, and I fast forwarded through them, they were pretty long.
Yeah.
And they were pretty in depth. It was definitely Skinamax level.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
They were long, but they were also quick in some parts of it, which was.
I would miss
I won't get too
margin.
graphic there, but.
Well, I wouldn't know because I skipped through that, so I don't know if there's drama coming from that. I wouldn't be privy.
Yeah, I think that's been discussed in some of the forums. Quick.
Well, good for them.
I was expecting, so I didn't realize that this was like a Canadian production that HBO Max picked up. Like it's not like a HBO produced show. When this was pitched to me of what it was and that there were scenes, I thought it was going to be much more graphic than what we got. That's what I was bracing myself for that.
I thought it was extremely graphic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Have you seen The Hunting Wives on Netflix?
No.
So that show is extremely graphic, and
does that has one of my favorites? I think. Does that have Brittany Snow?
Yes.
Love her.
Well, so they're just having sex all over the place in that show.
Brittany Snow?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the main character.
Say it ain't so.
It made me uncomfortable.
She's America's sweetheart from John Tucker Must Die. Don't tell me that.
It's you'd be fine watching it. I was uncomfortable watching it with my wife.
Hunting Wives?
Yeah. Dude, we're talking within the first 5 minutes. It gets intense quick. So we haven't finished that, but no, I get weird about, I don't know, those scenes. Just, it doesn't even matter. The sexuality, all of it just kind of gives me the heebies on TV.
All right, you're a private guy.
Yeah, but the storyline's good. I don't hate the storyline. And then what I thought was interesting is I know so Shane Hollander, the character that plays him, is straight.
Sure.
He's straight
Good
in real
actor.
life. And I don't know if Rezanoff is straight or not. They talked about how, did a lot of offline research on this, how they wanted to keep their sexualities neutral because they think it's important for LGBTQ to share their own stories. But Shane Hollander today posted on Instagram, Happy Valentine's Day to his girlfriend. So we have confirmation of his sexuality.
Well, I mean, could he be, like bisexual, hetero-flexible, like what's that other?
I think
pansexual.
I think the true story is both these actors were this close from quitting acting, and they both got this gig. So
that's true. Is that based in factual research?
Yeah, like they were both like barely not sleeping in their own cars, and they both got these roles.
So I am curious. We got in the chat, Miss Amy Lewis retracted a message. That's a first on Woody Lewis Sports to you. So don't think you're gonna be called, not called out. That's censorship. We do have the disclaimer, and we are explicit, even though we do a pretty good job of not swearing anymore. That's from Miss Patsy.
Yeah, we're clean. We haven't said anything inappropriate.
That's right. We could probably take that off.
Yeah, I think we should. We might open ourselves up to a bigger audience.
All right. But no,
Miss
Amy,
my question,
would you care to let us know what your retracted message was?
There's something I have for Annie from Boston. If she's listening live or she listens on Spotify.
So she is not listening live. She is at a birthday party tonight, but she will be listening to us on Spotify tomorrow.
Okay, Annie, thank you for the recommendation. One thing I'd like to ask from you, since you asked from us, is what are your thoughts on episode 1? And do you think our our interpretation of the episode and the deep breakdown is in line with what we should be taking away from this, and if not, should we redirect our thoughts and our viewing style to make it more in line with what the consumer of the show should be taking away? And also, what are your favorite parts of the show, Heated Rivalry? Thank you, Annie.
I appreciate that. I think that was pretty good. I didn't know really where we were gonna go. Discussion.
I'm not gonna half-ass that.
No, it was good. I am intrigued like where this goes because we've already blistered through their rookie season. So it's like
well, that's the thing. They keep fast forwarding through all the months. Disclaimer for Miss Patsy: do not watch this show or Hunting Wild. Don't just let us tell you what happens. Just don't Google it. Just that is the only disclaimer we need to have.
That's a good disclaimer. That's funny.
No, but it's it's cool.
Did producer Kaylee watch?
Producer Kaylee, I think, kind of liked it.
So that's what I'm also kind of like intrigued. Not intrigued. I guess intrigued by is like who is the target audience for this? Because I imagine that the books are probably like pretty smutty and get like pretty graphic. I haven't read them. That's just my impression. So I'm like, I don't know who the target audience is for this.
Well, when I was Googling it, it said that it kind of met its like it got streamlined into like the forefront of stuff on HBO Max because of straight female viewership.
Okay.
Like that, I think that was the demo that really kind of launched it. But Kaylee's worse than me. Like Kaylee's super anti love making scenes on shows. She gets more awkward than I do. So she didn't necessarily like it. So, there's going to be the demographic who likes it because they like seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of in line with my thought, like the story's not bad. It's actually not a bad premise. It's an interesting premise.
Yeah.
One that I haven't encountered in real life through playing sports. But yeah, I'm curious. Like, are we gonna get every episode going to be a season in the MHL or?
I'm curious how far they.
I don't even know if they made the playoffs or not. Like they didn't really talk about. No, I told Kaylee, I was like, they're the number 1, number 2 overall picks, so they probably didn't turn around the club in a season to get the playoffs. But I like to know like where we drafted next year. I'm kind of invested in that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Love and Basketball? That's kind of what this is kind of like those they start as like young kids and then romance develops through like their high school, then college at USC, and then professional basketball.
Miss Patsy could talk about Love and Basketball. Me and my cousin Macy, we watched Love and Basketball one summer almost every night.
Every night?
Oh, dude, I was obsessed.
You know it well.
Yeah. I don't know why they went to
an intense movie to watch every night.
I don't know why they went to USC. I think that was a bad college choice.
They're from LA. I guess, yeah, why not go to UCLA?
I didn't agree with the USC decision there, but no, yeah, same idea. It's a good movie. I like that movie a lot, actually.
You watched it every night.
I watched it a lot. Yeah.
I think I've only seen it like twice.
No, I haven't watched it since I was like 12.
It's funny. It's a kind of intense movie, like the dynamic with Dennis Haysworth and the mom and catching them having an affair.
Yeah, I mean, I was 12.
I was 12. So anything else on Heat? I'm actually, I think we're both kind of surprised by our reactions to it and the pretty deep discussion we had. I'm looking forward to episode 2.
Yeah, me too. I'm also looking forward to when I go back and finish my second degree. I got to take like a film critic class for an elective because I think I would like really enjoy that.
What is that? Wait, like a film course.
Yeah, like an elective film course. Like, I think I'd really enjoy something like that.
Yeah,
and like really deep diving into certain things.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's all I got on Heated Rivalry though.
Also talking about men touching men, let's get into WrestleMania 13, 1997. Next in our rewatches of the WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah, I watched WrestleMania 13 completely zonked out on Nerf blocker and Oxy.
It's what you're on right now. That's what you're saying.
It was a pretty electric way to watch WrestleMania 13.
Let's hear it.
No, so WrestleMania 13 was great. You know, it was headlined by Stone Cold and Bret the Hitman Hart in their submission match.
That was insane.
It was just classic WWE. You had Hunter Hearst Helmsley against Goldust, which was great.
Goldust is so weird. I know we've talked about this, but like it's just so weird.
Well, and we can so, and I think that's the fight of the night.
That was a good fight.
If you go back, and they fought a lot. The
whole
Triple H,
Marlena, Hunter Hearst Helmsley thing.
the Triple H and Goldust matches, like Goldust was a phenomenal in-ring performer.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H is obviously good. Like I always thought their matches were really, really well done. And then you got Marlena and Chyna, and it was fun because I was watching it, and Kaylee started asking me questions about, like why is he Hunter Hearst Helmsley? Why isn't he Triple H? And I got to explain to her how his real name is Paul Levesque, and he started out as a French guy, but he sucked at French, and then he transitioned to this New England aristocrat who is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then he gets with Chyna, and then he slowly transitions to the game and Triple H, DX, and she was like, her mind was blown that him and Chyna were actually dating in real life, and Chyna tragically passing away, and all the stuff. So yeah, no, it was a good WrestleMania. Bret the Hitman Hart, though, he was a lot, and I can almost see why they did the Montreal screw job on him, because you could see if you read between the lines and watch it from a Monday morning quarterback, like that whole fight. Even McMahon, they were talking about how much he complains and how WWF's out to get him. He beats Stone Cold. Stone Cold famously did not say that he gives up. He just passed out from the blood loss because he razored the snot out of his forehead.
So the amount of blood was insane.
It was obnoxious. And whenever Scott Steiner came out and fought, who did Scott Steiner fight? Shawn Michaels?
I don't know, WrestleMania 13.
Who'd Scott Steiner fight? Or Psycho Sid? Who'd Psycho Sid fight?
Taker.
Yeah, Undertaker. So during that fight, when he comes back out, and this is what you got to read between the lines, like they're talking about him complaining. He obviously takes the mic and is complaining, and Psycho Sid, who's not over, and he's a heel, he starts talking crap to Bret the Hitman Hart, and like the crowd like turns in favor of Psycho Sid, to pretty much just throw him out of the ring and tell him to shut up. And the Undertaker went to work on Psycho Sid, and they're all back on
quickly.
Undertaker being over, but they did not like that guy. And they had a
that was the double turn. I mean, in that submission match, like Stone Cold, the double turn, like the crowd was going nuts for Stone Cold. And then I also couldn't believe either them like going into the stands like so high up with like basically just only Ken Shamrock as the celebrity ref with his cutoff referee. Like it was just him. Like who knows like who's in the stands, especially 97. Like you could bring anything in. Like that was when that happened. Like they went beyond like the crowd control like metal gate. I was like, oh my goodness.
It was the 90s, man. You could do anything.
They did.
It was perfect. No, they were great matches. I'm excited. I don't actually know what our next pay-per-view is we need to watch.
I think it's an In Your House. I think it's In Your House 14.
Outside of all the mainstay pay-per-views, they were all their pay-per-views were In Your House. I'll find that. So yeah, I'm excited to watch, Rocky Maivia. You're starting to see him kind of take shape into being The Rock, which is exciting. He's getting
That was an
better.
interesting intercontinental matchup. My introduction to the Honky Tonk Man, who I liked, but he, I don't know. He was
Dare you
very
say.
critical of Rocky Maivia, and I know it's 97, but some might say a racist.
The Honky Tonk Man was letting stuff fly on the
Yeah.
microphone. That's WWE. That's how you get heat, and for better or worse. No, the Rocky Maivia is taking it, but having his dad come out,
Oh, Rocky
and
Johnson coming in.
it was very cool because I never really thought about it. Like, you're not teaching an old dog new tricks, so it was clear to see how much of The Rock he took his like skill set from his dad with some of his signature moves and the way he moves in the ring. Even though Rocky Johnson was old when he did it, but that was cool to see. It's cool to see how out of shape Rock used to be. Like, The Rock would look at his old self and like just make fun of how like baby fat he was.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if like he just wasn't as like cut. He's
But he
still, like,
slimmed down big time in like
he's-
02.
Okay. But he is very athletic. Like, my takeaway watching him is he's probably the most athletic wrestler. I mean, Undertaker for his size is incredibly athletic. And then Owen Hart is incredible.
RIP. Yeah.
Yeah. That was I like that tag team matchup. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog against Vader and Mankind. That was really fun. I enjoyed that.
I love the British Bulldog.
That was probably my favorite matchup.
That was your fight of the night?
That was my fight of the night. The Chicago street fight was something with Legion of Doom, Ahmed Johnson, and Nation of Domination. Also, 97, what I couldn't get over, they had at one point Farouk on a noose. I was just like, oh my goodness.
They pushed all the boundaries. But yes, obviously you had the Nation of Domination and Ahmed Johnson and Legion of Doom in Chicago. They were in Chicago.
Yeah, they're Rosemont. Yeah,
but the Chicago street fight with those selected individuals, they knew what they were doing. I love Nation of Domination, man. And correct me if I'm wrong, that they started out. You got to see Bradshaw. Bradshaw was in the opening match.
I think
Oh
that's
my
right.
gosh, who they were the.
It was the not the Wyatt brother. It was the 4-team tag team.
Yeah, and it was JBL and his partner. They were they were wearing the chaps.
Yes.
Anyway, I was telling Kaylee, Bradshaw is one of my favorite. He's a top 5 wrestler for me because he gets out of place. He transitions from that tag team, and that's when him and Farouk create the APA.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know about the APA?
What's the APA? I have no idea what the APA is.
Man. All right.
That's why we're watching this.
So the APA is JBL and Farouk. They become a tag team. And they were called the Acolytes Protection Agency. So they get together in 98.
Okay.
So they're a tag team. Their best thing was they're cutting all these promos in the back where they had like a poker table and a door. And they'd always be sitting there playing poker, smoking and drinking. If someone needed to come and talk to them, they had to go through this wooden singular door. And they just had the best antics. And JBL was just such a bruiser. He was so good in the ring. And he was never in shape, it looked like. But he rode APA all the way up till 2004, 2005. And that's when he transitioned to being JBL, the guy in the limo, the New York stockbroker from Texas. Then he had his infamous feud with John Cena. They had great matches there through like 06. But no, I really like JBL a lot. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so that that matchup, yeah, that was the four-way elimination match, and it was the new Blackjacks. That
The
was,
black, yeah.
yeah, Bradshaw and Blackjack Wyndham, who got, there was a simultaneous disqualification, if I'm remembering correctly, and the Headbangers ended up winning that one, and I believe that they were gonna compete for the tag team belt on the next Raw.
What's interesting is now that I say this out loud, when I'm thinking of terms of like tag teams and factions, Nation of Domination and the APA are like my top two. So to say JBL is one of my top 5 wrestlers, I'd say Farouk is as well. I mean,
Farouk he's good. He's a
go
character.
when we're done with the show, just go on YouTube and just like YouTube like APA backstage.
Okay.
It's just gold. It was like WWE behind the scenes at its best, which WWE sucks at that. Another thing we talked about, soapbox, is Bret Hart. He was on a podcast recently, and I did agree with him. He was like, they were watching old fights and comparing them to new fights in the WWE, and what he said, he was talking about how bad the current wrestlers are at simple things like throwing punches. And what he was saying was back then when WWE was at its height, so 96 to 06, that 10-year span, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were great wrestlers who learned how to act. But present day, he said the reason the product is so bad is you have actors who don't know how to wrestle. And I think that's pretty true. As I flicker through current Monday Night Raws, and like they have like, this Gunther guy who they're trying to put over right now.
Yeah.
He sucks in ring and on the mic. Zero redeeming quality. But it's crazy how you have someone like Triple H who knows how to be successful in the business, and he sucks so badly at running the WWE now from a creative standpoint.
I'm just going through the lineup. The Sultan. I'm curious how long he lasted in WWE, because just a poor man's Iron Sheik who like it managed to like escorted him out, and obviously the Iron Sheik being a legend, but that was probably that Intercontinental matchup was. I don't know, knowing that the Rocky Maivia was going to become The Rock made it interesting, but that, in my opinion, wasn't a very good fight.
No, the best in-ring fight of the night, I'm telling you, was Gold Dust and Hunter Hearst.
I mean, the Bret Hart Stone Cold, that was impressive.
Oh, I mean, that was phenomenal too. But just from like there are a lot of antics though, right?
A lot of antics.
I like to judge matches on how exciting are they with the least amount of antics, just like pure just wrestling.
Well, then it was great. Yeah, I mean, Shamrock throwing down Bret Hart after he tries some antics after the technical knockout of Stone Cold. I didn't realize, so going into this, that, I mean, this WrestleMania 13, I mean, basically was the end of the new generation and start of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Attitude Era is now going to run until like 2003.
So question for you. This is like a hypothetical, like alternate universe. If Shawn Michaels, if his knee isn't hurt or his nose isn't hurt and he headlines WrestleMania, like what does that mean for WWE?
If you would have headlined in 13?
Mm-hmm.
It would have been him and Undertaker, wouldn't it? Because Psycho Sid got the belt back from Shawn Michaels when he got hurt.
Right, yeah, because that was the final four. That was the last In Your House we watched, because Shawn Michaels abdicated the belt.
It would have just made it a better WrestleMania without Psycho Sid was never lasting.
Right, so a better WrestleMania, but does that delay the Attitude Era?
No.
You don't think so?
No. The Attitude Era was coming from the world. Just like all these eras have came naturally based on... The only era that I think came unnaturally or that came naturally, that wasn't from outside influence, was Ruthless Aggression with John Cena. But no, I think it would have still happened. Like, I think this girl on the Olympics just tore her ACL on the ice. I'm sorry,
What
live
event?
report. Skating. She is in immense pain right now.
Like figure skating?
Crying her eyes out.
Uh-oh.
She's up now. She's still crying. They're okay.
What country?
Canada. Rough night for Canada. Anyway, no, I think it would have naturally happened because that's what I was telling Kaylee. You could start to see the things change. Like Hunter Hearst Helmsley, this aristocrat who's now with this female bodybuilder, China in his corner. Like all the stuff was setting the stage for a transitional period. The Rock's gone from Nation of Domination. Nation of Domination is about to be done. And Ruthless Aggression, not Ruthless Aggression, the Attitude Era took The Rock becoming The Rock, and it gave a platform for Stone Cold to finally flourish. And I think it highlighted how much WWE did not need Bret Hart, and how, if you want to be honest about it, Bret Hart did all this to himself because he's the one who got the contract with WCW. No one forced him out. Bret Hart's a crybaby.
So that match, that submission, no disqualification, that was the double turn, and that, I mean, you hear the crowd in like real time, like cheering for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Do you think if Shawn Michaels is headlining WrestleMania, that Steve Austin, like, because that's basically my understanding, he ascended in this WrestleMania from like a mid-tier guy to like the face of WWE.
Yeah,
is that inevitable, or is that just delayed if Shawn Michaels happens, or does it continue? Like, does that still happen at WrestleMania 13?
They always wanted Stone Cold to be a heel,
Mm-hmm.
but he was just always over due to the nature of the fandom.
Yeah.
So I think maybe if Shawn Michaels was there, it'd been easier for him to be a heel. But you can't have a guy not be babyface if he's going against someone that the crowd just can't stand. You can't put him over. And Bret Hart's never been able to put over, and that's, as I rewatch it, I'm glad they did the Montreal screw job, because how pompous of him to think that he should get to retain the title when the very next day he's going to be at WCW. What sense does that make?
Sure.
But yeah.
And then my final thought on WrestleMania 13, and again, I haven't really been watching. I know because we don't really have all the Monday Night Raws on the vault yet on Netflix, but watching these pay-per-views, and I love Vader, but has the Vader bomb ever been successful? I have not seen a successful Vader bomb in any of the 1997 pay-per-views. It really disappoints me because he gets up there, like he dragged. I think it was Owen Hart at one point. He drags him like close to like one of the corners and gets up to do the Vader bomb, and the British Bulldog like knocks him over before
Vader's
he
a
can do
liability.
it.
I never liked him.
Vader's a liability.
Never cared for his in-ring.
I love Vader time. I think it goes back to him being a cameo appearance on Boy Meets World as Frankie's dad. My love for Vader, but I just want to see one. Maybe I'll just YouTube it. Like there has to be, maybe not, because I mean he's like what, billed at 350 pounds. Like a Vader bomb would hurt.
It would. Like the Rikishi. So,
well, no, that was fun. This was another episode for the boys. I think, like you said last episode, until someone says like, "Hey, you idiots, knock it off with the wrestling recaps and Heated Rivalry," we're gonna keep doing it.
Now, the only thing I would say for us to be aware of is Barstool did launch their wrestling podcast, and it got canceled after like 6 months.
Yeah, but they do I think they'll do pay-per-view recaps.
I'm just buyers beware.
Yeah. Well, I'm having fun rewatching at least the pay-per-views, and you explaining to me as a wrestling aficionado like what's going on, kind of where we're headed, what happened.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's a time that we'll never get back. Unfortunately.
So Braxton, that we covered all the ticker topics. We are just at the hour and 4 mark. I see you're fading with your painkillers. Before you fade any more from your Hugh Freeze hospital bed, any final thoughts? Anything you've been thinking about over the
I,
past week you want to bring up on Woody Lou Sports and You, episode
I got a,
31?
I got a final segment I want to introduce.
Okay.
It's going to be called, well, you can work on the name, but pretty much worst guy of the week.
You're like your LVP, least valuable player of the week.
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
I'm stealing this from, I'm not purposely stealing this from anywhere. But I'd like for us to each week bring in someone who's done something that we think is not good for society and highlight
Sure.
it.
For society.
Yes.
Okay.
So my candidate for LVP of the week, I won't say his name. I was at a medical office, and I overheard this gentleman describe his favorite teams.
Sports
And
teams.
favorite sports teams. His favorite sports teams are as follows. MLB, he is a San Diego Padres fan.
Padres, got it.
For the NBA, he is a San Antonio Spurs fan. For the NFL, he is a Baltimore Ravens fan. For college football, he is a University of Tennessee fan.
He's got his geographic bases covered.
For college basketball, he is a University of Texas fan.
Huh.
And so this is the LVP of the week nominee I have.
I'm curious how that discussion started.
He was talking to someone else about sports, and then he openly proclaimed all of his fandoms, in which I was sitting there, and it took, if I had not been in uniform and I had just been Braxton in the moment, I would have had to inject. But in my official capacity, I had to let it go.
Yep.
But it was very hard for me to let that go.
Now, may I ask, was this person junior or senior in rank to you?
He's extremely junior.
Yep.
If he would have been senior in rank to me, I would have said something in my official capacity because I owe that to my superiors.
Managing up. Yep.
So that's my LVP of the week.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. That's no rhyme or reason to any of those sports teams. This was sprung on me as a new segment. I'm trying to think. I'm now like racking my brain of MVP and LVP of the week.
I got an MVP of the week, so you can save it for next week.
Okay, I'm gonna save it.
MVP of the week is my physical therapist, Dr. Morgan. Not because of anything he did with me, but I asked him, I said, hey, is Lindsey Vonn full of you know what? To which he responded, she's an idiot. In which he went further and said, how are you going to go on and on about fully rupturing your ACL and then get in a massive wreck that requires 3 to 5 surgeries and then have the gall to say that had nothing to do with my fully ruptured ACL on that run? To which I felt vindicated based off my comments last show.
That's right. You said exactly that.
And so I didn't nudge him to say that. I just said, what are your thoughts on it? And he told me exactly what I wanted to hear. And I said, I can trust you, Doc.
I can trust you, Doc. All right. So we have all from Braxton's medical appointments are his LVP and MVP of the week. So we have a junior service members just I don't know how to characterize that. Varying sports fandom, diverse sports fandom.
And the one that threw me the most was the University of Texas basketball.
Have they? I could be wrong, but I feel like they haven't been relevant since like TJ
Durant.
Ford and Durant.
Yeah, like is he just a big Durant guy?
I think he's
But if
no.
he's
I was
Durant
gonna
guy,
say
why is
like
he?
a Rick Barnes fan, but because of Tennessee, but he likes Texas basketball. I don't know.
Dude, I've been racking my brain around it for all week.
Now I'm gonna do a deep dive into like Texas basketball because I don't like Durant and TJ Ford are like Texas basketball is good under Rick Barnes in like the mid to late 2000s.
They were just as good as Tennessee basketball is now, which is we can't make a Final Four.
Yeah.
But relevant during the season, I guess.
So Padres, Spurs,
Ravens,
Ravens. Hockey
Tennessee.
wasn't mentioned.
Hockey wasn't mentioned. He was probably a Canucks fan.
Sure.
So
Tennessee, Texas. I don't even know. I mean, maybe it was a military brat. I have no idea. I'm trying to like come up with explanations for this.
there's no explanation. You just need
And
to be
then
ashamed.
Dr. Morgan, MVP. That's right. Our medical providers. They are MVPs.
Oh yeah.
Well, Braxton, it was a fun episode. I mean,
I
again,
enjoyed it.
one for the boys. Talking heated rivalry,
Rivalry.
WrestleMania 13. I'm excited for Heated Rivalry 2, episode 2. And then I think it's In Your House is the next pay-per-view.
I'll confirm and I'll turn it on tonight.
Perfect. All right, Braxton. Any final thoughts?
Thank you guys.
Yeah. To our award-winning listeners, Woody, Lew, Sports, and you, as always, please like, subscribe, download, and share. That's it for me and Braxton. Everybody have a great week.